Hey, this is James Allen, life and business coach, helping you turn your passions into profit without losing the passion. You know, it's something really common that happens in people's lives is that they think, oh, well, if you go after something that you're passionate about, something that's really in alignment with who you are and want to monetize that and make an income doing it, well, it's going to become work and then you're going to lose the passion that goes inside of it. Which I don't think is true. I think that it's possible, there's a way to do that if you burn yourself out, but with this whole process and the coaching that I do, there's strategy. Everybody's story is a little bit different. There's strategy in working with people, and these principles that we cover are what allow us to come up with our own strategy and let it come up from inside of us, more importantly, so that we can take that inspired action to making that happen. But today, something common that comes up is that you get stuck. It's just a natural part of the human experience. So the question for today is, how do you actually get unstuck? And we're gonna go over a 5-step process on how to actually do that. So before we get into the 5 steps, there's 2 fundamental things that we need to understand. And it's first that everything is energy. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and if we don't like the results that we're seeing, we can change them. Now, when you hear me say, oh, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, you're like, James, this is a bunch of woo-woo. And I'm a little woo-woo, a little bit, but I'm not like crazy woo-woo. I don't do like chakra alignment and, you know, heating stones, which actually are pretty good, actually, from what I hear. But that's not me. I am a very spiritual person, yes, because tapping into spirituality, into this bigger piece instead of just me, really opened my world up and allowed experiences and results to actually come more freely to me, and it made my life more enjoyable. So yes, I'm a very spiritual person. When I say that we're spiritual beings, what I mean is that if you think about, like, if you cut off your hand, or your hand got cut off, or your arm or whatever, you don't say, oh, I lost a part of me. No, you say, oh, I lost my hand, or I lost my arm. You know, it was a piece of me. Because the real you is inside, and you're like this spirit from another dimension, you know, basically. Not to get too woo-woo again, but you're in a human body, and it's like an earth suit that has allowed you to live on planet Earth and adapt to the climate that we have here on Earth. I personally believe in aliens. I think that if we lived in aliens, we'd still be the same kind of soul inside, but we would be on a different climate, so therefore we'd be, you know, adapting to whatever that climate is. So the premise of this is that we live in a massive universe that is exponential. It's massive in size. It is forever. It's infinite. And there's an infinite part of us, and there's also a finite part of us, which is our human side. The infinite part of us is what we want to tap into in order to generate the bigger results, because that's where, when we tap into that, we're able to see the bigger picture and realize that we're actually bigger than our situations, circumstances, or conditions that we face in our life. So the first thing to understand is that yes, everything is energy, which leads me to my next point. Results come from our thinking, which comes from our energy. So if we want to create new results, we have to change our energy, i.e., we have to change our thinking. Okay, everything is a result of the mind. If you look around, everything is created twice. The room that you're in, the phone, or the laptop that you're watching this on, or whatever device you're listening to this or watching it, everything is an idea before it becomes a thing. There's a couple things that we're gonna go over in just a minute that actually are going to allow you to have a free flow of energy, which also is a free flow of thinking. But when you're feeling stuck, there's a clutter of energy. Okay, there's maybe many different things coming at you at once, a lot of thoughts happening at once, and it's like having a funnel basically that just gets clogged up in the bottom. You know, there's like leaves and stuff if you're pouring water through the funnel, we'll say, and there's leaves inside the funnel, then it just kind of clogs up in the bottom. That's where we start to feel stuck. We're gonna go over the 5 steps to getting unstuck. Step number 1 is to declutter. Decluttering a part of your life is a message to life, God, the universe, whatever resonates with you, whatever works for you. It's a message to that force that you want more of that. It's you making it welcome is really what decluttering is. And when you're feeling unstuck, you know, you're just like the funnel, you know, analogy that we were talking about, there's clutter inside. It's about energy, is when we want to get unstuck, we want to open up, we want to clear out any kind of clogs in our energy, or like you can think about it too like a kink in a hose. You know, you have all these kinks in this long hose, and as you declutter, you know, you work on these like let's say 5 kinks in your hose. Each step that you go over when you're feeling stuck like that, because there's a kink, which is limiting the flow. Every step that you work on from this is going to release one of those kinks and then produce more flow. Think about your closet, think about the drawers in your desk, or just your desk in general, or the office space that you have, your kitchen. It could also be your finances. I mean, think about if you have a huge stack of bills, like, yeah, that it's clogging your energy, especially if you want more flow in your financial realm, we'll talk about. Then you want to pay those bills and pay them graciously. That's about like the law of circulation, where you pay the bills to give back, and activate that law of circulation. Because if you don't pay the bills, then you're not really activating the law of circulation. You're putting another kink in the hose, as I say. So decluttering is the way to go. It's the very first step, because what it does is it opens you up to more energy, to new energy. It makes things welcome. It invites something new to come in. That's what the decluttering is. Step number 2, write down some wins. Remember that all of our results come from energy. Well, results really stem from thinking, which is a form of energy. That's like the first currency of the universe is an idea. Think about the clothes that you wear, like I mentioned before, or the watch that you're wearing right now, or the phone that you're using, or computer you're watching this on, or your fridge, or your car. All of it is an idea before it becomes a thing. And then thoughts inspire feelings, which lead to actions that we take, and then results that we get ultimately, which I have a whole nother video on the results formula. But when you write down your wins and actually write them on a piece of paper, don't just use a Google Doc. There's something about when you write on a piece of paper with a pen or pencil, it moves energy differently. It's a full, the whole entire mind is working on that one thing. You have complete attention and focus on that one thing, which is why it's so powerful. It's why I recommend to write out the goals, the dreams that you do have, because you're putting full attention onto it. So when you write down your wins, what you're doing is you're actually inviting and opening up that positive energy to flow. Because think about when you have a good win, you feel so good inside. It's awesome. When you have a really big win. Think about that time where you just closed a huge sales deal, or you had just amazing love flowing in your relationship, or you felt healthy and vibrant. Think about those wins specifically in the area that you're feeling stuck. If it is your business, then think about when you were winning in your business, because I guarantee you've had some wins at this point in time. So reflect on those, because if you're feeling stuck, you're just so many things, focus on all these things in my life. But you want to focus that energy, the thinking, i.e. energy, on the wins that you have. So you've decluttered, and now you're focusing on the wins, which is moving new and cleaner energy. Step number 3 is to study. For me personally, when I feel stuck, what I do is I study. If I feel stuck, or I'm hitting a wall in a relationship, or in my business, or with health, any of these things, I like to study. I like to go on YouTube, listen to a podcast, read a book, and just study, because you want to open up the flow. So when you be open up to new ideas. And I love to just study. And there's nothing wrong with studying your craft. If you're stuck, you're just not hitting, let's say you're in sales, you're not hitting the sales goals that you have or that you're expecting to make, then study sales goals. There's something that's off in the way that you're thinking. And when you study from someone who's got the results in particular, someone who's really got it, it opens up your mind to new ideas. And that's why study is so powerful. So take the time after you've decluttered, after you've written some wins, you've opened up, you're feeling good, then start studying. Take the time out to focus on new ideas from people who are crushing it right now, or who made a video when they were crushing it, or just, that's the idea. It's because you're opening up your mind to new ideas, which gives you more ideas, more inspired insight, so that you can take more action. Because that's the one thing that's actually going to make a difference and change things, is your action. You can think about all the things in the world, study all you want, and nothing's going to happen until you actually hit the ground running and just take some inspired action steps in the direction of the thing that you want. Example with the sales, you studied, you're okay, I got an idea, I know what I need to do. Now it's time to just pick up the phone, start making it happen. Start getting your message out there. Start, being the person in your vision. Step number 4 is to ditch the victim thinking. When we're feeling stuck, it's very tempting to just kind of put our hands up or fall, belly up and say, That's it. Like, why isn't this working for me? Why does this never work for me? I'm doing everything I know how to do. What gives? Like, why can't I crack the code? And when you're acting in this way, you're really acting in a low vibration. You're feeling low, like a victim. And that's what I mean, like ditching the victim thinking. And how to notice when you're thinking in a victim way is just notice the questions that you're asking yourself. Because our life is determined by the questions that we ask ourselves. The quality of our life is based off the quality of questions that we ask ourselves, or that we're willing to ask ourselves. So victim questions often start out with why. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I so stuck? Why can't I ever get things right? Why does this always happen to me? That's another one. When you hear to me, that's typically a part of a victim sentence, why and to me. So when you're talking in this way, you're really just stuck in the past. What you need to understand is that there is always another step that you can take that will move you in the direction of your dream, or in the direction of those better results. And you have no excuse. You can never say, oh, James, there's nothing that I can do. It's complete, that's BS. I will tell you that right now. I grew up playing a lot of pool with my dad and his friend. I would often get frustrated as I was learning that I couldn't see any shots. I said, there's no way, there's nothing I can do. And my dad and his friend would tell me, James, there is always a shot. No matter how cluttered up the balls are, or how messed up it seems, and like no opportunity, there is always a shot. And just by knowing and believing that there's always a shot, or there's always an action that you can take, what you do is you open up your mind to new possibilities. Because if you're always thinking from that victim way of thinking, oh, there's nothing I can do, why can't I do this, why does this never happen to me? You're just cutting off the flow. That's one of the kinks in the hose. So what you want to do is to unleash that kink, or to unlock the kink for more flow. You want to think about, what can I do? Ask yourself the ultimate action step question. What can I do with what I have from where I am? The quality of questions lead to quality results. So that's a really quality question. What can I do with what I have from where I am? And when you ask yourself that question enough, and you put your energy and your focus to it and your attention, what happens is an answer comes up inside of you. And the one that feels the most alive giving to you, that vibrates, it excites you. You say, well, that's something that I could do. I could do this. The answer shows up within you. Because here's the truth, it's never a resource problem, it's never a money problem, or a relationship problem, or a love problem, or a connection problem, or anything. It's always an opportunity to raise your level of awareness, because it's always an awareness problem, which is why we study. And step number 5 is to make a fresh start. Here's the thing, every day is a brand new baby day. It's a brand new opportunity for us to make something new happen in our life, to take action, to build a dream or a life, or work towards something that we really want to experience, to create, to give, to have in our life. And you don't have to wait if it's something bad happens, or you're feeling stuck first thing in the morning. You don't have to wait until, the next day to start. It's still the morning, even if it was halfway through the day, it doesn't matter. Make a fresh start. What that means is that, yes, every day is a new opportunity, but every moment can also be a new opportunity for you. The key is to make the decision. Okay, you know what? I've decluttered. I've paid off some, bills that I had or whatever. I focused on some wins. I've studied, come up with some action steps, now is the new opportunity. And it all comes from decision, to draw that line in the sand that says, I'm done thinking in that way. Now is an opportunity for you to make that new decision, to decide that right now, you're going to make something good happen in your life. You're going to make something positive happen right now. You're going to work towards and get back on track to having that focus of that dream, that vision that you ultimately want to experience, or those results that you ultimately want to experience. And then just take that inspired action step. And what happens is the more that you do that, the more that new steps start to reveal themselves. Situations, circumstances, people start to show up in your life and wrap themselves around you that benefit you. But it comes down from having the clear-cut vision and just taking those action steps every single day. So we're going to close out with a couple questions to ask yourself to get the most out of today. The first question is, what could I do more of today? How can you live into the you, the 2.0 version of you, the one that has all those results? How can you be that person more today? Next question, what could I do less of today? What can you do less of today that the 2.0 version of you doesn't do anymore? Not only does that person do things more than you, they also stopped doing things, or they don't do things that you currently do in order to get the results that they have. So what could you do less of today to be more in alignment with the person, the 2.0 version of you? The third question is, what could I start doing today that I'm not already doing? You know action steps that you should be taking. Maybe if you're a content creator, you want to be, creating online courses for your business because that's in alignment with your passion to profit method. Maybe you're not making videos. Maybe you're not even making recordings or posting anything. Then get out there. Start doing it. If you're in sales and you know that you should be picking up the phone, making sales calls, and you're not doing it, then start doing it. Again, you want to be living into the 2.0 version of you, the one that has all the results that you want, and have a clear picture of what that looks like every day. You're attached to that. You're emotionally attached to that. And just be that person every single day. It's that simple. The last question is, what could I stop doing today that I'm already doing that isn't working? Again, you know the things that you should and shouldn't be doing. And if you're thinking, oh, no, I don't, otherwise I'd be doing them. Subconsciously you do. You just got to ask yourself that question. What could you stop doing today that you know you're already doing that isn't working? And if you're really stuck in this area, that's where we study. That's where we read books. That's where we listen to audios, watch the videos. That's how you create those new action steps, because when you study, you get new awareness. That's the only way that I was able to transform my life from being super insecure and unhappy, is because I chose to focus on new thoughts, new, more empowering thoughts, and study like crazy. I read books every single day. I still do. I study every single day. I don't necessarily read books every day. Mine was the 4 Agreements when I first started. But through that study, I started to think differently. I started to see things differently, get new perspectives, which is why it's so important. And from there, action steps start to reveal themselves. And then the last key is that you just got to take that action. Because the more that you act in congruency with the person that has all the results you want, your 2.0 self, then you can actually start experiencing those results yourself. Live into that person every day. Live into that person today. Think like that person, act like that person, dress like that person. Be that person today, because that is what's going to move the needle. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and to learn more about me and the work that I'm doing, just go to jamesallencoaching.com. I'll see you on the other side.